Hey queen, it's time to start acting like it. A queen. Are you in your feelings about how disorganized your life is right now? Or maybe you're feeling a little bit discouraged because you keep falling off with new habits that you've set for yourself. I mean, between taking care of tiny humans, drinking enough water, working out, checking on your strong friend, loving on your partner, praying, meditating, journaling, deciding on your next hairstyle, cooking every day, keeping your house clean, and succeeding at work or at business, or both, it can be a lot. In this episode, I'm going to show you exactly how to feel in control of your life by building a daily routine that can change your life for the better. Whether you have ADHD tendencies or find yourself in a life transition like going back to school, becoming a mom, or even retiring, this episode is going to give you a path to reinvent yourself and live your life like a queen that you are. Plus, I'm going to share how to make sure you can stick to these routines as well. Because after all, I truly believe that you deserve to live life like a queen, and these rural habits can help you put that on autopilot. So let's jump right in. One is to get your palace in order, okay? Have you ever walked into a room in your home and felt completely overstimulated and you couldn't pinpoint why? We all know the struggle of trying to keep a clean home and the overstimulation and the stress that comes with the mess. But that doesn't change the fact that it can still be a struggle to keep your home tidy, even if you want to. Things like life events, raising kids, and even things like depression or ADHD can get in the way of our best intentions. Which is why my first set of routines is going to help you be the queen of your castle. So I'll start off with the things that I do on a daily basis when it comes to my cleaning routine. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is make my bed. That's part of a routine that I've started, and in the morning I have a whole routine, and the first thing I start with is making my bed. So if I get up out of the bed and pull up my side of the covers and make my side neat, my husband pulls his side up, and then I'm the one to kind of put the decorative pillows. You know how men are with the decorative pillows. I put those on the bed, and it's just like your first accomplishment of the day, and it helps you kind of set the tone for a tidy home. I also have daily routine for my dishes. So I get up in the morning. Usually I have unloaded the dishwasher at nighttime, and so in the morning it's just kind of routine after the kids eat. Then I put all the dishes in the dishwasher that is pretty much empty because I unloaded it the night before, and then at lunch I run the dishwasher so I can unload it while I'm doing dinner at night. So that's kind of my routine for dishes, and it helps me keep it on autopilot. I don't even think about it. I know after I eat lunch, I run it. While I'm cooking dinner, I unload it, and in the morning, I load it up, as well as throughout the day. Also on a daily basis, or an almost daily basis, is I run a load of laundry. I usually do that in the morning. I dry my laundry at lunchtime because I work from home. If I do go into the office, those are either days that I skip or I have my husband load the laundry, and then I fold it at night. Because I do it so often, it's not a lot of fold. It takes me like 10 minutes to fold it and put it away, and then I don't have to worry about a pile of laundry, which is how I used to do it on the weekends when I want to enjoy my weekends. Another thing that helps me keep a tidy house is I have clutter check. So in the mornings after my kids go to school, because these little toddlers love to make a mess, I do a clutter check, basically keeping up with putting their toys away or clothes that I may have out around the house. We're tidying up my office before I start working. I also do a clutter check at lunch on the weekend, so pretty much after they go to nap, and then also when they go to bed. So my clutter checks all really revolve around my kids either going to school or going to sleep, because otherwise they're just going to pull everything out anyway. So that helps me not feel overstimulated with a bunch of stuff around my house. And once you start getting a routine of doing clutter checks, you'll notice you'll love the feeling of having your home clean, that it will just kind of stay that way because everything has its place, which is kind of also part of my routine, and you'll just put things back naturally. So that's part of my routine as well. Don't put it down, put it away. And then another thing that I've gotten from some of these cleaning gurus is having a shiny sink before I go to bed. So I do like a home blessing every week, which I'll say in a minute. But on the weekdays at the end of the night, I like to make sure my sink is nice and clean, and I make sure to just wipe down my sink. That way when you come down in the morning, your kitchen is all nice and clean, and it's just kind of like singing to you. Then I will tell you guys about the weekly refresh that I do. I have a video on this on my channel as well, but it's kind of just like a reset for the house. So I change the sheets on all of the beds, I empty all the small trash cans, cans. Now the big trash cans my husband takes care of. I do a really, really quick 10-minute vacuum, and I kind of swish the toilets with one of those wands, those disposable ones, and I do a quick mop of the kitchen really fast. I just spend like 10 minutes on each of those things. I use a timer, and it's done in like an hour, but it feels like, you know, the house cleaners came to your house. And so when it comes to like some of that deeper cleaning, I use zone cleaning and decluttering. If it's a week where I'm feeling like I can tackle it during the week, I spend 15 minutes a day just cleaning it a certain area for that week. So for instance, this week it's my office. So I spend 15 minutes a day just kind of cleaning. You might want to clean the baseboards. You might want to clean out the closet. If you need to declutter, you'll do that before you clean, do any type of deep cleaning. And if I can't do it 15 minutes throughout the week for 4 days, I'll do 1 hour on the weekend. And then monthly, we have house cleaners that come that help me do the like deep cleaning, like cleaning the bathtubs, those kinds of things that I don't really get to deep clean and give like a really good mop, a really good vacuum, those kinds of things. And then we may do like a monthly or seasonal home project, me and my husband, that we usually work on the weekends. Remember, these routines don't have to be done just by you. You can get your family involved, I suggest you do, and get help during the busy seasons if you can afford to do so. Moving on, this may shock you, but being constantly sidetracked not only affects things like your productivity, but it also affects your relationships. A recent study I found from PR Newswire said that 25% of Americans don't feel connected to others, and certainly intentionality plays a huge part in whether we can show up in relationships the way we actually like to. So my second set of small routines is all about keeping your subjects happy. Okay, maybe subjects is a bit of a stretch, but you get the idea. These routines are all about maintaining the relationships in our lives so they don't fall between the cracks. So here's some routines I have in my life to nurture my relationships with the people I love the most. Okay, so on a daily basis, one of the things that has become routine is I have some extra time with my daughter. So my son is 2 and my daughter is 3, and when you have more than one child, it's important to spend individual time with them. And one of the ways I've found to do it with my daughter in particular is we have what she calls extra time, which after her brother goes to bed, me and Layla have some extra time, which we practice her letters. When it's with her dad, she practices her French, and then she gets a sticker. She gets to hang out for like 5 more minutes before she goes to bed. Another thing that I do on a daily basis that I would say is habitual and routine is I personalize my emails for humans. So as it pertains to emailing work people and in my business, I like to really personalize my emails. I don't like to just start an email with what I need from a person. I like to, of course, name them. I like to ask how they're doing. I like to, add things that I remember about them. So that's become an important part of my work routine as it comes to my relationships with people. Another routine that we have in our life that helps us bond in our family is dinner at the dinner table. But I like to have them at the table with us eating dinner so we can bond as a family. Another routine that I have that's daily for me is my gratitude practice with my husband. So each night we both name what we're grateful for and what were some of our favorite moments with each family member, and that really helps us appreciate our relationships in the family as well. I also have some like weekly and monthly routines that I have to nurture my relationships with my subject, if you will. We have a monthly date night, me and my husband, to make sure that we're not just mama and papa, that we're still husband and wife. I have family FaceTime call with my family in Texas like once a week. My husband talks to his family in France once a week so the kids can keep seeing their grandparents. Saturday is our family fun day, so that's a routine that we have of doing something fun with the kids or taking care of my kids' hair. We do our wash day routine on Sunday evenings, and I also prep all their clothes for the week on Sundays. So those are some routines that I've just incorporated into my week and my month that help me also take care of my people. Okay, so before I implemented routines into my workflow, there were many days I felt like a monkey on a typewriter just getting by with the bare minimum, okay? Not to mention all those tasks like filing and checking emails always got pushed to the back burner. When I consciously started using a system of routines in my everyday work life, It was like someone saved me from drowning under a sea of dreaded to-do tasks and work projects that there was just never enough time for. At least I felt there was never enough time for, because I didn't have a system of routines to make them work. Which is why my third set of routines I want to share with you are all about your reign as a queen, aka your work routines. Okay, so here are the work routines that are really saving me so that I can feel like I'm staying on top of my reign as a queen in my work, in my career, and in my business. First up, I have a wind up work routine. This just helps me get ready for work. I essentially set the mood and I kind of do those things that are really important. So I get out my timer. I set my timer for my first hour of work. I use the Pomodoro method. So for 50 minutes, I start my alpha wave study music, usually on YouTube. I also usually light a candle or do some form of aromatherapy, whether that smells some essential oils like lemon, any sort of aroma that helps you get activated. So like citrus smells. I also look at my planner again, because I also look at it in my morning routine, which I haven't discussed in this video, but as a part of my morning routine, I do like all my self-care things. And for me, it helps me not stress out about the day by just looking at what I have planned for the day. And then I look at it again as I sit down at my desk to work, and I fill in some of the prompts at that time. So like my intention and my priorities. And then I also look at my emails, and I'm the type of person that I can get behind on my emails so easily. So it helps me just by having a routine in the morning before I even start working. And then another work routine I have is just taking breaks. Like I mentioned, I use the Pomodoro method. So taking breaks is a part of my regular work routine. Then I also have a wind down work routine where I kind of get out of the flow of working and moving into my life as mom and wife life, where I look at my planner, I do a task audit, I look at, was I distracted? Did I actually get done the tasks that I need to get done? And I make a plan for the next day. I also have work zones. So this is where I spend about 15 minutes per day as a part of my day working on some project, whether that's fixing or optimizing templates that I use, or any type of project that I have that's not really related to the actual work I get paid for, but it's going to help me operate better, be more productive, or just things I've wanted to work on that I need to carve out time for. I do that for about 15 minutes a day before my lunch break. Last, but certainly not least, and actually first, are my personal routines that I do to take care of myself, mind, body, and spirit. These routines are key, really, to putting my manifestation on autopilot and enjoying my dream life. Right? It's all about the journey and enjoying it. So these are the things that I do to take care of the queen. First, as part of that morning routine that I mentioned, is I get dressed every day, or I try to do it every day. If I'm like really sick or in like my mood is not great, those are the days that I don't do it, but I actually can feel the difference and usually wish that I had. So I try to get dressed every day. Now, do I do a full face of makeup and get all dolled up every day? No, but I like to make sure that I at least put on the clothes that I had picked out for myself the night before, and put on my sunscreen, do a little skincare, and I do like a 5-minute makeup routine, and that just helps me feel like a person every day. I also review my goals and my vision board each morning as part of my morning routine. That helps me stay on track, stay connected. Also part of like my manifestation techniques and just my mindset techniques to get me where I'm going is I do a vision workshop each night. Essentially, that's just daydreaming about what you want, putting it in my subconscious before I go to sleep, and a gratitude practice with my husband that I had mentioned as well. Part of my morning routine also to take care of myself is daily prayer, and I read my devotional. My devotional currently Jesus Calling, and I also add in other types of readings that help me just get my mind right at the beginning of the day. And then another thing that I like to do now that I actually have time to put more energy into myself is always making sure my hair and my nails are done. It just brings me joy. So those are things that I do to take care of myself as well. Okay, moving on. You might be wondering, how do I make all these things stick? Like, how am I going to make these routines actually a part of my life that I can stick to? And I'm glad you asked, because let me tell you, queens are queens every day, and consistency is actually so key when it comes to having these routines help you create this intentional and beautiful life. I love the quote by Robert Collier that says, "Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out." And like I said, consistency is key, and taking small but consistent action to creating the royal life we want will help you feel less overwhelmed in your journey and make getting there more manageable and actually more enjoyable. It's like water wearing away stone. Each small drip of water contributes to massive change little by little, drip by drip over time. So think of it like the routines of nature. The routines of nature happen like clockwork with no days off. The sun always rises, the seasons always cycle, the tides always flow. And really you want to be like nature in the sense that no matter what, you're going to do your routine. You're going to do your cleaning routine. You're going to get up and do your morning routine. You're going to do your routines to take care of yourself. You're going to do your routines to stay afloat at work. And you're going to do your routines to help you stay connected. And you're going to make sure that once you define which routines are most important to you, and you don't have to have as many as me, right? But maybe actually I would say to start off small. This is all brand new to you. Decide what they are. I will link below my habits and routines organizer. So you're going to decide on the habits that are really important to you and then infuse them into daily routine. I want you to stick to them and do them like clockwork, because that's going to help you live an intentional life. It's not about the day-to-day moments of how you feel like, I don't feel like doing this. Yes, you may have some off days. Make sure if you have one off day, you get right back on that horse, because it's about being intentional. And once you have set those intentions, sticking with it. And don't let perfectionism get in your way. Remember, good enough is good enough when you're doing these routines. Once you get into doing them, don't feel like you spend a lot of time doing every little thing exactly right, cleaning like so deeply or doing each project so perfectly. Just do it. Good enough is good enough, and move on to enjoying your life. This is exactly why I stand by using a timer, so I can be intentional about keeping these routines minimal and keeping them easy. And on those days that you're not feeling it, or you're like on your period, whatever the case may be, have placeholders. So maybe let's say you want to make sure you clean out your sink every night. Maybe you don't spray down your counters, but you make sure that you put your dishes away. Like you do like the bare minimum just to placehold and make sure you're keeping up with the habit so that you don't lose your routine. And it may be hard to get these routines to stick in the beginning, but keep trying. Just keep trying, and I promise you, you keep trying, you're gonna eventually get there, and it's gonna be worth the wait. I promise you. When it comes to living an intentional life, I can't stress enough how important consistency in your routine. The ultimate key is to make the habits that make up your routines actually stick. So I've teed up a video I did for you on how to make your habits stick for you to watch next. And until we court again, Queen, cheers to planning, manifesting, and enjoying your dream life. Namaste.